Hi friends, let's take a look at Link. I just restarted the recording there so that I wouldn't disappear midway through. How professional am I? As you can tell with the squiggles over here, this is the land of the professional. It's a bit of a mess. Always a mess, always a bit of fun. Right, okay, thanks so much for joining. I'm Rocky Outcrop. This is the Rocky Outcrop channel. We're all Rocky Outcropticians together. We're a big friendly group of people who like to meet you and your new friends. So don't be shy. Introduce yourself, introduce your new friends to us, share the video with a friend if you got one you think would like it, blah blah blah. You've seen YouTube before, so you know all this stuff about that, and I really do appreciate likes and subscribes and all that stuff are massive, genuinely do. Let's just try and get on with the charting. So this downward trend, this is the 12-hour time frame. This downward trend in the 12-hour time frame, low here, low here, low here. Is it divergent yet? RSI says no just now. The stochastic says no just now. So things aren't looking so great. Somebody commented yesterday or whenever it was that they'd lost a bit of money on link trading, and it's like, oh gosh, that's harsh. Didn't actually write a response to that person, by the way. I meant to and I forgot to, so I'm really sorry about that. I saw TradeSpot and wrote a response in there though, and that's what kind of delayed me, is thinking, oh, he's got, there's conversation happening. That's good. And then they moved into just trading on Bitcoin, moved their money into Bitcoin. Well, it's a trend. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, and that's been working well for them, having gone over to Bitcoin. So that's good news that they've done that, and I feel good about that. Yeah, this is the downward trend that we've got so far at the minute. Oh my God, Rocky, why are you saying that? Well, you've got a high here, you've got a low here, and you've got a lower high here, and it looks like we're on our way down towards this. Now, either we start consolidating, in which case we maybe get a higher low at some point, or we can trend towards the upside, but we've come so far now that, just to say, like, we're going to just, this is all part of this upward thrust, that's a little bit rich. This is some sort of consolidation, at least. At the minute, currently what we're looking at, well, we've come down and we're past this Magnolia line here. Now, if I zoom right over to the left, you can see this is the 236 of the Fibonacci retracement we had in from over here, the highs and lows. Being above this 236 in terms of looking towards upward side targets was fairly crucial. We're down there, 37,974, so we've really kind of pooped the bed on this one. And we're looking and we're asking the question now at this point, will the 786, sort of a fairly deep retracement, having gone past the I'm really going to have to clean this up. Really going to have to clean this up. Having gone past the 618 over here of this Fibonacci retracement, we've gone past the golden pocket. It didn't get turned around. We've gone past the 200 simple. This is the 12-hour time frame. We've gone past all these things. Are we going down to the 20 to the 786, looking for a deep retracement area to try and turn around, or are we going to actually go on for the full 100% down to this area here, which would obviously be rather crap for our old Linky pals? Now, part of the reason for this here, of course, is the uptrend in Bitcoin. Now, the uptrend in Bitcoin is a somewhat divergent trend overall, and there's fundamental changes happening in the market. I wouldn't be surprised at some point to see a correction. I feel like at some point it's going to need to have one. Now, that might sound a little bit odd, but at some point we need to have one. Oh, look, 9485. So we stopped. If you watch the Bitcoin video, we had a hypothetical trade there. We stopped out in profit, and we can now reassess things, having made a couple of quid, couple of dollars, and without any FOMO. We didn't lose any sleep or any hair. We didn't add any years to our life. So I recommend you watch the Bitcoin video if you want to know how to trade without FOMO. Worth watching. Anyway, if we see the Bitcoin prices pull back a bit, as we're seeing, in terms of just a few dollars right now, we might see this come back up above this 236 here. What we want to see is that to happen, of course, just in general. We want to see this price action here move above the 38,700 area, and respect that. And we've came past this area here where you can see the drop off in the VPVR in terms of the trading activity. So there was a dearth of trading in this area here. I appreciate I'm making things even more difficult to see. I'm sorry about that. I'll get better in time. And yeah, so we've come past that area, and we've moved up into this, so that was maybe more likely to happen anyway, to come down and test this 236 as a result of the lack of trading. Historically the prices have moved past that area fairly quickly, so that's where we are currently. Just go back. And let's have a look and see. Yeah, did I say was it divergent or whatever? Not on the 12 hours. It's not. The 24-hour time frame. You can see this just basically straight down. There's not anything to really make comparisons between. You're having to look between in terms of the previous low. It's over here, you know, and in terms of that low, that would be this low here with this then followed by a lower high. So you're looking at this in terms of being a downtrend. So you'd be looking towards the bottoms here and saying, you know, is it going to become divergent or whatever? Well, the price action hasn't gone down as far as the as the previous low quite yet, whereas on the RSI or the stochastics you can see it clearly has. On the RSI you can see it clearly has, you know, so there's that sort of degree of divergence on the go here across these things, but at the minute, you know, you can't really say any of that, and overall it's in this consolidation area, and it's grotesque consolidation. You know, looking at the weekly time frame, you can see these big ups and downs in this, which makes it a great coin for trading in terms of, like, you know, being aware of stuff, but just like actually asking yourself, do you want to go up to these big targets you have up above, or do you want to consider yourself lucky to have got profit out, you know, before your previous area? I think recently, this is not financial advice, but recently it's been best to kind of, like, you know, be taking profits in advance. So smart people, I guess, I suppose, in a way, we're shorting this from up there in the 50,000s on the way down. Would you want to hold it all the way down to 34,000? Not necessarily. Of course, if we do go down to 34,000 and break below it, we could be going down to 31, and there's, you know, 10% moves to be had down there. If you're wanting to take a sort of jackhammer crazy move on the way down, you already made 25%. You know, if you're looking to be super greedy on this thing, you could go as far as 30% drop off in price, you know, and that before and things like that. But I would honestly, I would probably, you know, shorten this down. I'd probably do this in phases, taking profit at different times along the way, depending on the price action. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame and see if there's divergence showing up on this one. Lows, downward trend, lows. RSI starting to see a bit potentially from some divergence. You know, if you look at this area here and this area here versus this area here and this area here, yes, you could say that, but of course the prices are on their way down right now. So what do we always say when you're looking about anticipating bearish divergences like that? We call that stupid. Just kidding. You know, we don't want to do ourselves in. You know, we don't want to, like, say that things are happening when they've not happened yet. We'll wait for things to be set in stone, and for that to happen, we need to sort of see a local high, and preferably in terms of this trend being a downward trend, you'd want to see a lower high as well, or whatever. Overall, if you want it to continue, or you'd want to see a higher high come in if you want to have this be divergent followed up with a higher high thereafter. In terms of the weekly, are we seeing divergence? We're trending towards it. It's so hard to say. See, this is an equal top and equal highs, right? So we can say that between these two highs, that it was definitely bearishly divergent between these two. On the run up to that, was there any hidden bullish divergence? As in, would one of these come lower than the previous one, despite the high not being lower or the low not being lower? No, that's not happened. So there's not any hidden bullish continuation divergence there for us. In terms of the highs here along the way up the way, well, you know, you've got this one here, and then you've got this one here, and you've got this here, and you've got this one here. So they're divergent on the RSI. On the stochastics, you know, it was just a trending towards the upside, but you know, you can find it if you look back far enough. On the MACD, it was a class B between these two areas. That's enough for us for the dollar prices just for now. Overall, I could, you know, I've already looked at the 4 hours. That's enough, or not the Bitcoin prices. Let's go to the dollar prices and see what's happened. So I've got a red line there. I can't tell what's happening with the price action behind it. Let me just zoom in here, make it clear, and move this thing out of the way so we can have a look. Well, we've come down to the bottom of our box. I think this is a fairly you know, we could anticipate this event happening, and it's happened. We've come down as low as $3.50. Is that going to operate enough for us for some sort of support? Could this be a fake out of this channel? We're going to call it channel. Could this be a fake out of that, or and will we see the prices go back in, or will it actually turn out to break out down from it? Now, we already have a measured move guy over here that we can use to say where it could go to. In fact, I don't need to move it at all. You could be looking down to $3.25 should we come down out of this one. If you wanted to be super negative about things and include the whole of the flagpole as well on this thing, I don't necessarily recommend doing this type of thing, but you know, you could. Then it takes us down to our next horizontal line at if I just move this guy out of the way, $2.45. Okay, these lines here, horizontal lines, there's hundreds of different ways of doing trading, and the fact that that line there, it speaks enough for itself, in my opinion, the fact that it's there. But of course, you can draw these things in if you like to. We've got the 21 EMA coming in there. Where's that at the minute? $3 flat. Now I could sort of like draw in the $3 area. I think $3 speaks for itself. The 21 EMA is in there at the minute. So if you're going for this thing, I wouldn't anticipate the full measured move off the back of it. But if you're being super greedy off of this, generally this sort of idea, if you're being sort of greedy off of this thing or whatever, then you're looking down to the 21 EMA at $3 there. So there's your sort of dollar prices. Let's take a look down at the of course it could turn around. Let's go up to the 24 just before I leave it and look and see if there's any sort of like divergence as we've spoken about. Yes, bearish divergence all the way on this uptrend here. Too early to look for bullish stuff because we're not trending down the way. Right, let's go down to the 4 hour and look for the same sort of thing though. Low here, it's higher than that low, so that's not it. That's higher than that low. This is just all consolidating. So we're consolidating our way down towards this thing out here. Not going to look for the divergence really on this one. There's a question mark that we put in yesterday's video about this one here, or whatever. We spoke about it yesterday, whatever. So yeah, so the dollar prices. So really, how is this all going to shape up over the next wee while? Well, we've already kind of had the move that we anticipated, and have been able to profit off of. Well done, congratulations out there to anybody who has done. I'm not a financial advisor on this financial advice. We've got this line here at $3.70. I want to see the prices move back above that so that I can start to consider that maybe we're going to have another phase of this happening. That's badly drawn in. What I meant to do was down like that, so we could see another phase of this happening. I want to see the prices manage to stay above. This is a 4 hour time frame. The 200 simple in terms of fake outs happening, that's $3.30. If the prices need to go down there, it's obviously near enough a 10% move towards the downside. If you are doing that, you can manage your risk in around this yellow magnolia sort of colored line here at the 366 area, if that's how you wanted to manage risk in this sort of time frame and all the rest of it. So that's what I'd be looking at myself. In terms of this, is just really consolidating. We could get any sort of a breakout, and if you want, I could sort of remove the we've spoken about this, so you're all aware of it. So I could just sort of like I'll leave them there actually. I could just, instead I'll use these green lines to sort of say, look, maybe we're looking towards this in the meantime. Or whatever. So if we did come down to this area here, then it would fit within this structure. It would fit within this structure, and that's when the question marks become thereafter in and around that area first off in terms of fake outs and whatever else. And that's really all I think we really need to look at. That was meant to be a question mark. I really failed question marks. Anyway, let's try again. Yeah, I got one. Okay, so that'll have to do for today. I think we've got everything we need to know to be fully armed for the price action currently. Thanks so much for tuning in. Share this video with a friend if you've got one that you think would like it. I really do appreciate that loads. Absolutely massively grateful to everybody who's liked and subscribed. Thank you so much for joining the family recently. To everybody who has, really appreciate that too. If you want to meet up with all the rest of it, meet up digitally, not physically. Then you can join the Discord and chat in there. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I'm kind of, once again, years ago I joined Twitter, hated it, left it. I'm on there. I'm starting to think to myself, that I hate it. I really do. It just brings out the worst in people. Nobody understands irony, satire. Nobody's got a sense of humor, whatever else. There's also so many morons there. People are constantly thick in front of you, and it's sort of bad, But in lots of ways, it's good too. And I really enjoy all the interactions I have that are positive there. I really love the positive ones. So I'm kind of sticking with it at the minute. And sure, if you want to join me there, then let's build up our own sort of like bubble on Twitter so that we can communicate with each other and all the rest of it, because I've got like 90 followers on Twitter, and what happens is you have the whole world of crypto Twitter kind of in and around you and all that, and I'd rather have a bubble here on Twitter if we're going to have one. If we're going to do that, I'm not particularly bothered. We'll see how all these things pan out. Not particularly bothered about Discord or whatever either, not particularly. We'll see how they pan out in the long term. But if I want to have one, then we could create a group of all the Rocky Outcrop competitions out there in the world, and we can share similar ideas, and understand each other's sense of humours and all the rest of it. And of course, everybody that's a member of the big Rocky Outcrop community so far knows that we just want to help people. That's all it is. Want to be friendly, help people, and avoid FOMO and greed. You know, and anything that sounds like FOMO and greed and that we want to avoid as well. And if we have anything like that, we want to put qualifiers in. And we also throw out shout outs to people too who are friendly as well. Really, you know, I've not done that on the Link videos for a while, so I really ought to say hello to people who are Link fans from the comments. And we also always credit other people who've got ideas if I ever see anything else out there on the charts. So I'm going to go on and do Tezos now, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Tune in, look at the Ethereum video if you want to see some sort of technical analysis on Ethereum. All we need to know for today is on there. And if you want to have a wee example walkthrough of what it's like to trade without FOMO, then watch the Bitcoin video. It's 40 minutes long, but you know, you can see me talking there without any FOMO for the extended period of time about how you could trade in an area. You know, not financial advice. None of it's financial advice. Of course it's not. But it's what it is like emotional advice, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get this thing to go up here if we're going to start looking down to those areas. I mean, in between times, you've got the 144 EMA. Sure, you can see prices turn around there at 355. We'll be aware of these things overall. The area to be taking shorts from, as we know anyway, was 370 if you were doing that, because we spoke about it so often, as you can see here in the past, where we've had this line on for a while anyway. So we know all about that anyway. So, you know, trade wisely, stay safe out there. Catch you next time.